feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all wanna ring, yeah, we all wanna be free. So show me what you got, what you bring, how you fight in the ring, how you take a fucking swing. Do you got heart, are you mean? Got some scars, got some needs, are you willing to go bleed? I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
For the first time since 2006, the Edmonton Oilers have been victorious in a game in the Western Conference Final. That is honestly, guys, that is so amazing. That's been so long since we won a game in the Western Conference Final. My name is Gene. You guys are watching Lubed for May the 25th, 2024. The Oilers take game one, despite, in my opinion, lopsided officiating. That's right. I was not very impressed with the officiating in that game. There was some calls that were kind of weird but legit, but there was a 5-1 ratio in the calls that I don't know, man. So anyway, regardless, I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Maybe I'm out to lunch, but that will be the poll question on this particular episode. Was the officiating crappy or not? So I'm going to ask for you guys to chime in on that one because I did not like it. Happy for the outcome. But it was definitely 100% an uphill battle for the Edmonton Oilers in that game. So yeah, we're going into game two. The Edmonton Oilers winning game one. Huge win. And actually, so right now, it just doesn't matter what happens tonight. They still have home ice advantage because they took one on Dallas, in Dallas's arena. So yeah, right now the Oilers have home ice advantage, looking to take a 2-0 lead in about 58 minutes from now. Guys, I love this, man. I love what we're seeing out of this team. I love the heart and soul. I love how they're playing for their captain. There's good things. I really feel I think a lot of us are still in disbelief that the Oilers are actually where they are. We're still kind of it's when you get that one punch in the head and you're kind of a little starstruck and all that kind of stuff. Well, that's kind of what it has been for this season. Okay. Yeah, they were out. They were knocked right out in late or middle of November. They were pretty much done. They were done. And here we are. They're one of the final four teams and really pressing for a Stanley Cup victory. So I got to give them props. When McDavid said last season, cup or bust, yeah, it's cup or bust. So anyway, we're going to discuss game one of the Western Conference Final and the results. We're also going to do a deep dive into Miro and Evan. Now, initially I was going to go Miro and Darnell, but Miro kills Darnell on that category. So I thought I would balance it out a little bit more and have to kind of use Evan again. And the reason being is because Evan was on one of my previous ones. I didn't want to I kind of want to refresh things and use a different player, but I had to go with Evan to match up because Miro Heiskanen is an amazing defenseman. So anyway, we'll go with that. We got a new poll question, which I gave you already a hint on what it's going to be about. The game two preview, which is going to be basically your lines. And we're going to go into the league leaders and then final thoughts. If any of you guys want to chime in tonight, and I will answer your questions. So let's dive into this as the Edmonton Oilers took on the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final on Thursday night and are prepared to play them in game two tonight. Hell of a game. And the beauty of this game is it started at 5:00. So I was able to watch the whole game. But I also told myself, if this exceeds 2 overtimes, I'm going to bed. I'll find out the result tomorrow. But luckily enough, shortly into the second overtime, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that right now. As the Edmonton Oilers defeat the Dallas Stars 3-2 in second overtime. And tight game, very tight game, but I felt the Oilers really controlled a lot of the pulse of the game, a lot of everything. The only thing that was an intangible, and it was starting to piss me off, and that's where I'm going to go when it comes to the poll question. I'm going to ask you guys on this. I did not like the reffing. I really did not like the reffing at all. And a few of the things that really stood out is the McDavid 4 minute was a legit penalty. There's no question, but it was called by a linesman. I was kind of a little dumbfounded by that. Like, linesmen are supposed to do the offsides, they're supposed to do the icings. It was a linesman that kind of said, well, yeah, he definitely hit him, blah, blah, blah. It was a legit call, but it's just like, well, if the referees don't see it, why is that all of a sudden a call? So anyway, that's a different story for another day. But I'll be honest with you, 5-1 ratio on penalty calls, I was not very impressive. That's my opinion. I'm going to get your guys' vote on that when it comes into the community poll section. Okay, so let's dive into this game. In the first period, there was no goals. Once again, for a second consecutive game for the Edmonton Oilers, no goals scored in the first period. Everything kind of exploded in the second period when Leon Draisaitl got his 9th of the playoffs from Brett Kulak, which got his 4th assist, and Zach Hyman. Now, you can see, like, Brett Kulak's got his 4th. Like, you can see the whole team is kind of pulling together. So at this point in time, it's a 1-0 game for the Edmonton Oilers. The Edmonton Oilers would make it, I believe, 2-0 when Zach Hyman would get his 12th from Connor McDavid. Connor was quite the story in this game. There was a lot of stuff going on with Connor, positive and some negatives. And we'll get into that. We go into we're still in the second period when Tyler Seguin would get his 4th of the playoffs from Jamie Benn. And it is now a 2-1 game. And the Dallas Stars, I believe, would tie it up here when Tyler Seguin would get his 5th from Evgeny Denidov and Jason Robinson. We have a 2-2 game. This would take us to overtime. And in the first overtime, nothing happened. And this is where I'm saying to myself, okay, like, I do work very early in the morning. So in BC, I basically, my time that I get up at is 4 o'clock in the morning. So you guys in Alberta are way worse. You guys are way worse because that's an hour difference. And I was like, okay, I'll stick around for the second overtime, but then I'll have to go to sleep. And luckily enough, in the second overtime, and I might add, in this first overtime, it started off with Connor McDavid having a 4-minute minor penalty for high sticking as he ended up clipping Matt Duchene, I believe it was Matt Duchene, and drawing blood. And that's legit. It's a legit call. The problem I have with it is the refs didn't see it, but the linesmen seem to say, yeah, that did happen. And I've never seen that before. Like, maybe I just haven't focused on it before because other teams have done it. Regardless, I was kind of surprised that the linesman could say, yeah, that was definitely happening. And the linesman basically made that call. To me, I didn't like that. I did not like that at all. It was a legit call. Don't get me wrong. But if the refs don't see it, how many times did the Oilers get called on stuff that didn't really matter? Like, I mean, just the fact that if two referees, because I'm going back to the 80s here, if two referees can't see it, in the 80s, they seem to, maybe I was a little bit younger and didn't really understand it, but I mean, I don't know. I was a little surprised by that. I didn't realize that the linesman can not overrule, but kind of like go in there and say, yeah, there was definitely some contact, but whatever. So it happened. It still doesn't explain the 5-1 ratio on the penalties, though. So I'm still venting about it, guys. I'm sorry about that, but I'm happy the Oilers were able to overcome. And then when it came to the second overtime, Connor McDavid got his justice by receiving a pass from Evan Bouchard, top shelved it, game over. So there you have it. The Edmonton Oilers take game one in Dallas, attain home ice advantage, which is the hugest thing, because even if they lose tonight, it'll be 1-1, but they go back home. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. But I'm not going to read too much into it. I'm just very disappointed with the way the refereeing went in that game. So happy the Oilers were able to overcome. But it does definitely vent my frustrations. All right, so let's get into the statistical breakdown for this particular game, as the Oilers led in shots 38-33. When it came to the hits, 34-30 for the Dallas Stars. Dallas Stars, yeah, I could see them out hitting us. Came to face-off win percentage. So far in the playoffs, the Oilers are really struggling on the dot when they were dominating in the regular season. But Dallas Stars, 55.7 on the dot. And I'm hoping to see the Edmonton Oilers do something a little bit better, because right now they're not winning the faceoffs, and that's huge, because that's an energy killer. So I'm hoping they can improve that. When it comes to the power play, the Oilers had one chance, and again, this is where I'm venting. Like, they had one chance, and they didn't manage it. So they were 0% on their one chance. However, they were 100% on the 5 penalties that were called against them for Dallas. I can't speak enough. Like, that to me is huge. 5-1 ratio. That's, you don't see that in the regular season even. Like, I don't know. I could be venting for, maybe I just missed stuff. I don't know. But 5-1 ratio in the Western Conference Final. That's it's very suspect, guys. It's very suspect. What else do we got here? They were for block shots, the Stars slightly edged us at 25-24. That to me pales in comparison with the result, because it was that close. Let's go into, okay, so here is our goalie standards. Skinner actually outplayed Ozinger with a 939 to Ozinger's 921. Let's hope Skinner can keep riding it and playing the way he did. He played amazing, very amazing, and amazing enough to give him a very good acknowledgement from me as we get into the Stars. So my first star is Zach Hyman. 1 goal, 1 assist, very effective player. Zach Hyman has been huge for the Edmonton Oilers this year. No questions asked. The season started off really crappy, but Zach Hyman always still seemed to always be an effective player. Second star, Connor McDavid. And he had the game-winning goal. You would think I would put him as the number 1 star. No. I'm not going to do that. And the main reason I'm not going to do that is because he did do that 4-minute high-sticking penalty. That, to me, depleted him. Game-winning goals in second overtime usually would definitely promote you to the number 1 star. However, with that 4-minute penalty, I had to deplete him, and rightfully so, because Stuart Skinner was the absolute stud of the night. With a 939 save percentage. He stopped a lot. There was a lot of posts that were hit on that power play. That being said, he kicked ass. Yeah, I have no problems with Stuart Skinner's play in that particular game. All right, guys, let's get into the deep dive as we discuss Miro Heiskanen versus Evan Bouchard. Now, this is these guys are very, very, very close in all the attributes. So when it comes to Miro Heiskanen and Evan Bouchard, let's take a look at what we have for statistical differences. Who is better? That's a big question. Who is better? So Heiskanen excels at the top speed. He has speed bursts over 20 miles per hour. Meanwhile, Evan Bouchard excels at the offensive zone time. So because Heiskanen has that speed, he can laterally go back and forth in his zone, which is, I think, is honestly a better stat to have. The fact that you can maintain both zones, whereas Evan Bouchard relies on a little bit on Ekholm to maintain the fort while he creeps in there. So that's a little bit of an advantage to Heiskanen in that regards. Both players are very equal with goals, shooting percentage, shots on goal, and even top shot speed. I didn't realize that Heiskanen had a powerful shot like Evan Bouchard, but apparently he does. And then also the skating distance. So they have great cardio, very good cardio. Heiskanen in the O zone. Miro is very unpredictable in the O zone as he can strike from anywhere with his high hockey IQ. And I totally agree with that. If you look at that graph up above, the goals he's got, he's all over the map in that O zone area. Whereas when it comes to Evan Bouchard, likes to get set up at the points so he can release the Bouch bomb or thread a needle with his heat-seeking wrister. So we've seen both sides of that. So regardless, both of them have extremely strong attributes. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think Miro Heiskanen 100% is a better D-man than Evan Bouchard. But not by much. As far as O-zone time, Miro balances the O-zone and D-zone extremely well. His speed allows him to be very defensively responsible, yet huge offensive threat. Bouchard has the luxury of being paired, as I said, with the best stay-at-home defenseman in Matthias Ekholm. And I said that just earlier. So yeah, there you have it. I think that's the difference, is the fact that Evan can actually rely on his D partner in Matthias Ekholm to defend the home, defend the base. That being said, the whole team has been really good at defending the base. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens in about 40 minutes when the Edmonton Oilers take on the Dallas Stars for Game 2. So that brings us to my poll and question for the night. And as I said at the beginning of the episode, I was not very happy with the officiating. So here we have it. What was your thoughts of the officiating of Game 1? Scan that QR code. It will take me to the community page. That being said, if you're a little fearful of scanning QR codes because you think it might be a trap of some sort, you can manually type in Lubed Lube community page on YouTube. So I would like to hear from your votes. I did get an extremely good response on the last one where I asked you guys, what was your prediction of the outcome of the Western Conference Final between the Edmonton Oilers? And there was quite a few votes, actually. I was quite happy with that. That's what I want to see. I want to see you guys respond to my votes. The Edmonton Oilers led the way in 6 or 7 with 59%. The Dallas Stars, 6 or 7 with 29%. The Oilers in 4 or 5 with 12%. And the Dallas Stars in 4 or 5. And that's actually 0%. I don't know why it got 05, but it was, I think the 05, I think I failed to hit the shift button, but it was actually 0%. So there you have it. Thanks for responding. It was great. Like, it gives me an idea of what you guys feel. You guys feel that the Edmonton Oilers are going to win the series, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. And I do too. Okay, let's get into the preview and the current league standings of the league, as there has been slight little shifts as far as the league leaders go. As far as the lineup changes, not much has changed, man. Not much has changed. They're going to kind of ride the same lines, as we will discuss that right now, as Nugent Hopkins is scheduled to play with McDavid and Hyman, Holloway with Draisaitl, Kane, Fogle with McLeod and Ryan, and then Janmark and Carrick and Brown together. There was talk about Henrique coming back into the lineup, but there's a lot of talk about not disrupting what's going on with this team, because this team is playing very good right now. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I personally think if Henrique is good to go, take Brown out and put Henrique in that lineup. But that's the way I feel. But I think Knobloch has a feel for the team. He would have a much better feel for the team than I would, just as a hockey fan. So yeah, there you have it. As far as the Dallas Stars lineup goes, Jason Robertson with Wyatt Johnson and Stankowski. So basically nothing has changed since game 1. Marchment with Duchesne and Pavelski, Ben with Seguin and Dadonov, Vasca with Steele and Smith. Now, the only little bit that could change is Rupe Hines is a game time decision. We'll find out if he's playing tonight. But right now, that is your lineup. They did mention that Rupe Hines may be a game time decision. And if you ask me, considering that the Dallas Stars are down 1-0 in the series on their ice, I'm leaning towards Rupe Hines finding a place in the lineup for tonight. So we will see. Comes to the defensive pairings: Ekholm, Bouchard, Nurse, Darnay, Kulak with Ceci. Everything's basically the same. With Dallas, it's, again, the same thing. Hartley with Heiskanen, Lindell with Tanoff, Suter with Petrovic. And the goaltenders stay exactly the same as well, with Skinner and Picard. Henrique is still listed day to day. He's probably going to be playing game 3. I could see Henrique back in the lineup. It all depends on what happens tonight. If the Oilers win pretty convincingly, they might just keep Henrique out of the lineup. I don't know. Like, why? If it's that philosophy, if it ain't broke, why fix it? And then as far as the Dallas Stars go, Jake Osinger with Wedgwood. And the injuries are Hakanpää and Hintz, but Hintz is like pretty much ready to go. I would be surprised if Hintz does not play tonight. So there you have it, guys. We will get into the final thoughts segment here. As right now, I posted kind of this. Well, actually, I posted the schedule, if it should go the distance, in asterisks. Obviously, those are potential game not game 7, but potential if needed games. New York Rangers and Florida are now tied at 1 game apiece, which is very huge. It's the first time in this playoff year that the New York Rangers actually went behind, and that's when they played in game 1 when Florida won. So Florida's got the advantage in that, and Florida also, you got to keep in mind, Florida's very strong. Florida also was at the Cup final last year, so they're going to be playing to win that Cup this year. I'm suspecting Florida to come out of that series. That's just me. And with the cup or die or bust or cup or bust, mentality that the Edmonton Oilers have, I'm suspecting the Oilers to take out Dallas. Who's going to win between Florida and Edmonton? I have no clue, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully that is the case. Hopefully the Oilers are in the Stanley Cup final. We will see what happens. Let's go to your comments if you have them. No comments tonight, guys. So that's makes my world a little bit easier. I don't have to answer your guys's. So if you guys are witnessing this channel for the very first time, feel free to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. I promise to bring you awesome Edmonton Oilers content as much as I can to my abilities and try to bring you a little personality as well, because I think a lot of the internet lacks personality. So I'm going to try to bring you that personality. That being said, enjoy the game. Go Oilers, go. Let's hope we can take 2 in a row, go back home, and swallow the Stars as a whole in a 4-game sweep. Wouldn't that be crazy? All right, guys. I'm out. Enjoy the game.